Hi friends, it's Scott Bertone, the Bold Action Coach, and welcome back to the 21 Days of Giving Challenge, Day 4. Yesterday I talked about negative self-talk and told you some stories that were pretty personal to me, and I appreciate you listening and watching diligently because so many people expressed their appreciation. Today I am going to elaborate on a couple of the skill sets that I said were foundational to unwinding that negative self-talk that our mega amazing supercomputers hold on to for sometimes for many years. And the two that I brought forward were, one was a quality and the other was an affirmation. And thinking about it, I really believe that today I'm going to focus on a quality. And the reason is because I think it's the very first step. And I think it's important you understand what a quality is, as well as how you can create a quality yourself, and really the right way to do it, which is a powerful personal way that gives you direction and guidance to be laser focused on what it means for you. And so the best way I can do that is to first tell you what a quality is. A quality really is a personal trait, an attitude, a behavior, or a belief that is happening or is part of you and is being held down by that negative self-talk. And so a quality can really be used to start battling that negative self-talk. And the best way to describe it is to give you an example. And I'll tell you a story about a client, and we'll call her Jane. Jane was an amazing executive, very successful, beautiful lady, but she was unhappy. And why was she unhappy? She couldn't necessarily figure out, but she was lonely. And her being lonely was really the clue for me. And so I suggested, and she agreed, that she go through an exercise. And it's a very simple exercise, but it takes a little bit of work. And she got a journal, and she started tracking all of her social interactions at night after she'd get home. And I asked her 4 questions that she would journal about, and they're very simple. What was the event? How did she show up to the event? Like, what did she do? How was her reaction? How did she wish she would have reacted or shown up to the event? And finally, did she notice anybody, or did she know somebody in her life that she believed would do it that way, or the way that she would idolize or feel like it would be more empowering for her? And it was really eye-opening, because what happened when we started reviewing her journal, it became very clear that her negative self-talk was beating her up so bad that she would go into these social interactions, and before she knew it, she'd be in the corner by herself, not talking to anybody. And to her surprise, she actually tracked it for 2 weeks, and she didn't meet a single new person. And as she started thinking about it, that was pretty much how her life went. She would go into social events and she would retreat and she wouldn't meet new people. And it was not a very easy thing for her to do. So I then asked her about that last final question. Did you notice anybody, or do you know anybody that would be that person that you really hope to show up for? And she said, yeah, I did. I have a colleague or a coworker that just is amazing. Her name's Becca, and she would be happy. She would be meeting people. She would be, telling jokes. She was just like this amazing social butterfly that really, as I think about it, she's like a badass. And, this is a way I want to be. I don't think I could ever do it. And, that's where it started, right there, right then and there. We were able to use that model that she was able to create from Becca and say, let's build from that. You know where you are. You've got that. You've got it personally ingrained in you on how you're acting and how you're reacting. And you know the words you're saying to yourself. And then you have Becca here over on that other side of the spectrum that is really who you want to show up as. And let's give it a name, So let's bring out your inner badass. And that's what we called her quality. We called it her inner badass. And really, if you think about it, when she would go to a party or go to a social event, she had almost that driving force, that word, that quality that she could tap into and say, I want to go and let my inner badass out. Let the world see my inner badass. And we created step by step, really, small but bold actions that she could take in this plan we created. And soon, there was this new revival or this new person that came forward. Not only was she now an amazingly successful businesswoman, she wasn't lonely anymore because Badass Jane was born. And that can be you. If you can create a quality for yourself, if you can take that simple 4-step process and figure out where it is that you're holding yourself back, and also figure out what you want to model and who you'd want to show up as, and really be clear about that. Create a powerful name that makes sense, something cool and fun like Badass Jane. You can do that for yourself. If you have any questions or need any help, let me know. I'm in the comments below. You can reach me via the private message, and I'm here to help. So have a wonderful day. Live boldly as always, and I'll be talking to you soon.